We lost 10 of our meat birds the other day. And I'm making this video so that if you are a recently new chicken owner, maybe you'll find this helpful and know kind of what to look out for. This is what I think killed our broiler chickens. Also, side note, sorry if you can hear this chicken in the background. Somebody done set off Hennifer. Anywho, the other day I went out and started to do chores like I normally do and went to go feed our meat birds, which are almost 12 weeks old. So they are about ready for butcher. I went to go open up our chicken tractor, noticed all the chickens were kind of piled up on one side, which usually they do that because they're hugging the shade. It's hot here. But whenever I brought in the fresh water, a bunch of them got up, but a bunch of them didn't move. And that's when I realized we had lost several of them. After taking our inventory, it was 10, which is not, just one or two. Of course, I start racking my brain. I'm like, oh my goodness, did I do this? Is this my fault? So the first question I start asking is why. I start racking my brain with well, it's hot here. Are they dehydrated? Did they get too hot? Are they sick? Is this going to spread to the rest of the flock? And of course, what does somebody my age do when we don't know what in the world is going on? We go to Google. I mean, that's how I've learned literally everything I've learned so far. If you go to Google and just say, why did my chickens die in the middle of July? It's probably going to say something like they got too hot or whatever. But there was this one symptom that I noticed from some of the other chickens that I Googled, and it gave me this. I noticed a few of the other chickens were breathing in a weird way, almost like there was gurgling, like there was water in their lungs. Which, before now, I worked in the healthcare field. I worked in a hospital at one point, and any type of labored breathing, that could be lung issues, that could be heart issues. But I also knew that chickens can get sick very easily. So the first thing that popped up on Google was it could be a viral or bacterial infection, which is a possibility. But I was like, we've been keeping fresh, clean water out there, 3 times a day. And let me tell you, moving that 5-gallon water 3 times a day is no joke. It's heavy, but we've been keeping it clean. And then we have them in the chicken tractor, so that way we can move them to fresh grass multiple times a day. So I was like, surely it's not an infection of some sort. But then I came up on this new term that I did not know about. And it's called water belly, or this is the more scientific name for it. I got to reading and doing some research, and it's super common in broiler birds or, birds that are specifically raised for butchering and eating for meat. This water belly is really common in these birds because they are bred to grow at such a rapid rate that if they start growing too fast, their body needs more oxygen. But then their heart and lungs can't keep up with it, so they get this water belly. Really, basically, it just sounds like they're breathing in water, like they're drowning almost. Now, there's no way that we can know for sure, but I definitely think that's probably what it was, because the ones that we had to pick out of the brooder, they were some big mamma jammas. But I wanted to give it a few days to make sure we didn't lose any more and make sure it wasn't an infection that was going to wipe out the whole flock. Now, since we didn't know the real cause of death, here's what we did to try and combat all the possibilities. They were drinking about 10 gallons of water a day, so I've been going out midday to make sure they have more water. So really, we've upped it to about 15 gallons of water a day. On really hot days, I've also been adding some ice cubes to their water to try and help keep them cool. But I live in Texas, and it's almost August, so it's hot. If there's no infection, we want to try and make sure that we keep their brooder as clean as possible to prevent an infection of some sort. So I've been moving them multiple times a day, just making sure they have clean water. And to combat the possibility of water belly, I had read that once they go into heart failure, there's not really much you can do about it. But we had recently upped their feed, not by a whole lot, but we had upped their feed because they're getting bigger, they're hungrier. We dropped their feed back down just a little bit to try and slow down the rate that they were growing. And here we are a couple days later. I have noticed none of the chickens have the gurgling sound when they're breathing. We have not lost any more, which makes me think that was probably the problem, the water belly. Now, this isn't our first year raising meat birds, but we've never had this issue. But we've also never raised this many at once. Our first year we did this, we raised them in small batches of 15 because obviously we didn't know what we were doing, so we wanted to start small. And this year we were like, oh, well, we know what we're doing. So this year we ordered 53. A little bit earlier in the season we lost, I think 6 to a really bad hailstorm. That's terrible. Our chickens got pelted to death. And then we've lost 10 to what I'm guessing is water belly. So we're down in the upper 30s on what we have left of our living meat birds, and we will be butchering those probably next weekend. So I hope this is helpful for you if you decide to pursue getting broilers, that's something that you can look out for, and you have to be really specific with how much you're feeding them, and it's based on their weight and that kind of thing. If you would like to see how to process a chicken, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see if I can scrape together a PG-13 version of a video for you to watch while it's still being pretty informative. Oh, by the way, my name is Madison. On this channel, I'm sharing my journey of learning how to grow, preserve, and cook with homegrown food. If that sounds like your jam, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time.